What is Godly Humility? By Lori Altebaumer. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with a towel that was wrapped around him. John chapter 13, verse 15. If you would like to know humility, take a temperamental and overly tired toddler out in public. They're God's gift to remind us that we aren't as in control or perennially all-knowing as we'd like others to believe. The little darlings have no remorse in saying what we adults might think, but politely choose not to. They have hesitation in letting us know we fall short of their expectations for the human race. We don't understand what they're trying to communicate in something that sounds like Swahili. And they have zero sense of embarrassment for throwing a fit that borders on becoming an international incident at the most inconvenient of moments. Yet, there is much to learn from a child. They aren't afraid to ask questions because they aren't ashamed of not knowing the answer. There is also much to learn about ourselves from a child, specifically about our lack of humility. Humility is meekness, a gentleness of spirit, not a passive submission to avoid conflict, but a gentle knowing coupled with a confident trust. Knowing that God is in control and we are not. Knowing that God works all things together for His purpose. Knowing that it is in His strength that we can accomplish hard things. The child's unashamed curiosity and unhindered faith is the model Jesus intended when He said, "Truly, I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. We talk about how Jesus humbled Himself on the cross to die for our sins. But do we sometimes lose sight of the fact that Jesus knelt to wash the feet of Judas? On the night before His crucifixion, He shared a meal with Judas. He fellowshipped with him. He washed his feet. He even went so far as to send Judas on his way to his act of betrayal. And by His humble submission, we've been saved. This is the model for humility we are to follow. The act of not demanding our rights because we trust God is up to something far greater. The catch is that we often need to get out of the way so He can do it. Godly humility begins with recognizing our position in relationship to an all-knowing, omnipresent, omniscient God. Step aside from the path of pride and watch what God can do with a humble servant. Do a word search for words like humble, humility, and meekness. What is God speaking to you in these verses? How do you view humility as defined by meekness? Is this an incorrect view that needs to be replaced by God's truth? Ask God to reveal to you any areas of your life where pride may be an issue.